Streaming services. There are a lot of them. Too many, some would say. And we are now starting to see some of the streaming services react to the heavy competition on the market. Some of them are changing their marketing and strategies. Some are altering their methods of releasing content. Some are even getting rid of their content. As a consumer of this content, who likes and wants all of this content available at the drop of a dime, and who's paying quite a bit of money for a lot of these services, many of these changes and tweaks are a little concerning. Let's start with HBO Max, which has since been renamed and rebranded as Max. For my UK listeners and viewers, this streaming service isn't available yet in our little old country, but it might come out sometime around 2025 when HBO's deal with Sky comes to an end. Anyway, for many years HBO has been a big name brand that connotes quality. Whenever you think of HBO, you think quality, big budget, high standards. You might also think sex and nudity, bad language and the like, but that's a different conversation. This past year, Warner Bros. Discovery, the owners of HBO, was purchased by Discovery, forming the company Warner Bros. Discovery. The new owners then took control of the streaming service HBO Max, and they started making some changes. They removed a lot of content, including some of HBO's biggest and best shows. Some of that content has since shown up on other services like Netflix, and it can be bought digitally or physically separately, in most cases. But still, the home of HBO content doesn't have all of HBO's content anymore. They then changed their strategy for releasing certain content. They cancelled movies and shows. Batgirl infamously got cancelled well into production. A sequel to Scoob was shelved too. Warner Bros. Discovery didn't want to release movies on the service, but they also felt the movies planned for release weren't movie-like enough for cinemas. They then rebranded the platform completely by removing the term HBO from it. It's now just called Max. And this is probably the strangest move yet. HBO, remember, many people can note HBO with quality content. That's a good thing. So they removed the recognizable, highly admired brand name from the service. Why? Well, they felt it was old. It was an odd choice, a bit like, I don't know, imagine if Twitter changed its name. The only plus of this rebrand, as far as I can tell, is that they merged what was HBO Max with Discovery Plus. So there's a bunch of new content there now. HBO Max is still around, they're still making shows and still releasing content. But now, users must subscribe in fear that at any moment their favourite shows or movies can be took off the platform. Why is the content being removed? Simple, so Warner Bros. Discovery can make money off it elsewhere and save money by not having to have it on their own service and use their own servers. Because if you didn't realise, it costs money to have a show or a movie on a server, and if people aren't watching it, why spend that money? Disney Plus, meanwhile, has started to follow suit, adding an ad-supported tier to their service. Yes, ads on a subscription service that is heavily tailored and aimed at a younger audience. The ethics around that are messy, but more significantly, they're also removing content from their service for the exact same reasons HBO Max did, and it's to save money, and then earn money elsewhere. Some big shows and movies have been impacted by this so far, like Willow, the show, and Crater, an exclusive movie for Disney+. The worrying thing is that if you're a big fan of these shows and movies, when they're gone, they're gone. There's no other way to watch them because in the case of Disney+, they don't release their content physically or digitally. At least they haven't yet. So, fans of that Willow TV show can no longer watch it unless Disney lets it stream elsewhere, or if they release it on home video, or if they put it back on Disney+. Netflix has also introduced an ad-supported tier to its service, and they've even got rid of the lowest tier to increase profits. Admittedly, Netflix's tiers have always been odd. I mean, everyone has an HD TV, with many people now having 4K TVs these days. Their lowest tier didn't provide HD content or 4K content, so it was an odd choice to even exist. But Netflix and HBO Max both charge more money to subscribers if they want to take advantage of their modern TVs and sound systems, which many of their shows and movies are designed for. In other words, if you have a big flash TV, you need the highest tier of Netflix to get the most out of it, and that costs a lot. All these moves are being made to try and boost profits. Why do they need to boost profits? Simple. There's a lot of competition out there now. Many subscribers are limited to only 1 or 2 subscription services because of life and the necessity of needing money for bills, food and the like. So, these services need to increase their costs to contend with the drop in subscriber counts. And they need to increase their content to make it appealing for new and current subscribers alike. Netflix has also dabbled in altering its release methods. In the past, Netflix was known for the binge method, releasing content all at once. It worked, it made them famous, but as time has gone on and with subscribers dropping in and out of the service whenever they're done watching whatever content they're currently watching, well, they've had to make changes. Many of Netflix's shows now release in chunks or in parts. The Lincoln Lawyer and The Witcher recently did this, meaning that if you wanted to watch these shows as soon as possible, you had to subscribe to the service for multiple months instead of that 1 month it dropped in. Smart on their part, although it does impact the enjoyability of those shows by having a big break right in the middle of the season. With all of these services battling away at one another, with many subscribers cancelling their subscriptions as soon as they've watched whatever it is that they were wanting to watch, a movie or a show, one has to question, where is this all headed? Sadly, the answer isn't good. Many of the streaming services we have now will not survive. Some will fall apart and be an alternate way of watching content. Others will struggle and be forced to quit the fight. Others will survive and reign victorious. But it's not going to be pretty. And the result is that in the long run, we, the consumers, lose. We lose because once these services are gone, the content is gone too. Unless they release it elsewhere, which so far, very little of it has actually released elsewhere. It's a case of be careful what you wish for. You might love the idea of a HBO streaming service, but if that service cannot sustain itself and beat its competition, the content might someday vanish. Or if you want all the content from all the services, you're out of luck because it'll be gone someday. It all looks and sounds a little bleak because I think it is. The only thing that can be done is that we either find some way of supporting all of the services, which is unrealistic in the long run, the services release their content physically or digitally elsewhere, or the services call it a day. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Follow me on X and Threads at @the_Grant Burton, or Twitter if we still want to call it that, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Until next time, thanks for watching.